Hi, hello. Welcome to Memberthu. At this point in time, the whole world is seeing some unprecedented circumstances. The world seemed to have been ready for a nuclear war, but we're all hiding in our shelters because of the threat posed by a virus which cannot even be seen. It is microscopic and we cannot quite see it with the normal eyes that we have. Yet, it has crippled us. At such times where it is difficult to be in control of the situation, I find it quite useful to seek my spiritual path and try and pursue some meditation, chanting especially. In Sanatana Dharma, there are a lot of mantras that are presented to us that enable us to chant and meditate upon them to draw a lot of positive energy from it. If you need a modern scientific explanation for it, these days you're being told how self-talk is very important to you, how you need to talk to yourself in a positive way, how affirmations are very important. You need to keep telling you the right message in the right way, and it helps build your psychological status. To me, the mantras do the same. When I chant these positive mantras and shlokas, they give me huge level of energy, and I draw energy from them to lift my chin up and go ahead and do what needs to be done instead of feeling helpless and being crippled by all the threats that may be around us, not just this virus but any other threat as well. So in this video I'm going to share a very simple, extremely simple sloka or mantra, is probably the more appropriate term for it. It's so simple, you can chant it anywhere, anytime, you can even chant it all the time. It has been mentioned, it's a Mahamantra from Srimad Bhagavatam, and it is also mentioned in the Vishnu Purana. So in the Vishnu Purana, the story about Dhruv comes. Dhruv was born to King Uttanapada and Queen Suniti. There was another son to the same king called Uttama, but he was born to the second queen, Suruchi. Unfortunately, Suruchi was not a very kind mother. She favored her son more than Dhruv, who was not born to her and was her stepson. So she ill-treated him quite a lot and would not allow the child to go near the father. And this was very hurtful for the little boy Dhruv. So at a tender age of about 5, once when he tried to get on his dad's lap, Suruchi was very mean and said he cannot do that and he really doesn't have any credibility to do it and he needs to earn the credentials and be blessed by Vishnu. So his mother was watching this and she advised him to actually pursue that idea. Why not go and get the blessings of Lord Vishnu? And this little boy took it very seriously and went into the forests. He decided that he wanted to get the blessings of Vishnu. He was extremely determined to do that, but he was still at a very tender age. So when he was in the forest, Sage Narada came and met him and tried to persuade him to give up on his determination to pursue such hard penance to attain Lord Vishnu. But the child was quite clear. He was very determined that he will pursue it and he will do whatever is in his powers. So seeing that, Sage Narada gave him some advice. He described the Lord Vishnu and he also gave him a mantra. This is the Maha Mantra that we are going to learn today. So this child had an imagination of what Narada had described. So he had a mental picture of Lord Vishnu in his eyes and he closed his eyes and kept meditating upon this mantras. And when the Lord was pleased with his meditation, which was quite rigorous, the Lord himself came and to see the child. However, Dhruv was so into this, and he did not realize the presence of the Lord, because to him, his mental picture was there. To him, the Lord was already there because he had imagined the Lord in his eyes. Visualization, as we now call it, isn't it? So when the Lord came, he had to make his presence felt. So apparently he took his conch and touched the child's cheek. And then Dhruv woke up, and even before that, the Lord had to make him make the image disappear in his eyes. And once the child woke up, he got the blessings of the Lord. And we all know how Dhruv ended up as a star in the sky that we now see. So through Sage Narada and Dhruv, we got this Maha Mantra. So the mantra itself, let's go into that, look at the meaning as usual, and we'll conclude by chanting the mantra again. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. It cannot get any simpler than that. In Kali Yuga, the best way to attain the Lord is through Nama Sankirtanam, or chanting his name. So Om is the Pranava sound, and Namo refers to salutation. Bhagavate refers to the Almighty, or the divinity, or the God as we call it. Vasudevaya is the main word here. To me, it is very interesting, because Vasudevaya, quite simply, it refers to the son of Vasudeva. But Vasu also means one who is the life force of all living beings. The life force of all living beings. Devaya is Almighty, or the supreme divinity. So Vasudevaya refers to the life force behind all the living beings that lives among them. So the divinity himself lives among us. He is in all of us. And how powerful is that thought? We are at a day and age where we need to find a reason to respect someone. I feel it's a shame we got to that point. There is divine powers in everyone. Some of us have tapped into it. Some of us have not even realized it yet. However, it is important to respect that the Bhagavan is there in all of us. So to me, that word Vasudevaya is quite special. And I think even if you're not a religious person, if you're just a spiritual person, it is good to see the divinity in others. So let's look at the mantra again, and we'll chant it thrice before we conclude this video. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. I hope you like this video. Please give it a thumbs up. And if you like my channel, please do subscribe it. I do show a lot of videos about self-improvement, spiritual path, religious path, and non-religious path as well. It is amazing to see how they all converge. Hope to see you in another video. Thank you. Bye-bye.